tell me your name.
My name is Randall Crane. That's a living name, not a corporate fiction.
So,
I'm challenging the court's jurisdiction.
okay, well, denied. Your motion's denied. All right, you were operating a motor vehicle.
Yeah, and I made that clear to the officer that I was traveling. I wasn't driving. This outside, I raised jurisdictional challenge to the court, as jurisdiction must be proven on the record before any further proceedings can lawfully continue.
2509380M, the People versus Randall Crane. We ready on Randall Crane? Mr. Crane's coming up. Hey, you, Mr. Kazicki?
No.
Mr. Crane, do you have counsel? Was that you, Mr. Barron?
Your Honor, Todd Barrett, I did speak with Mr. Crane prior to the court calling the case today. I think that at this time, Mr. Crane's probably best served proceeding is on his own. There are some constitutional arguments that he's raising that I don't think as a member of the bar I can.
Oh, is he a sovereign citizen?
He's making some sovereign arguments, yes.
Okay, I have very little patience for that. I will let you know that, sir. So, okay, tell me your name.
My name is Randall Crane. That's a living name, not a corporate fiction.
So, you're a real person named Randall
I'm a real
Crane.
person. Okay. I'm
Okay,
here.
no, listen to me. Sir, you're here today because you have some charges against you. All right?
I'm challenging the court's jurisdiction.
Okay, well, denied. Your motion's denied. I have jurisdiction to the Constitution of the state of Michigan. What's your next? I'm not arguing with you, sir. I have jurisdiction. So
You have to provide subject matter jurisdiction as well
Okay.
as personal jurisdiction to me before these can proceed.
okay, your motion's denied. I have jurisdiction under the Constitution of the state of Michigan. What else? What else?
You do not have jurisdiction over the natural.
I just said I did.
No, you don't.
All right. All right.
Okay.
So, sir, do you want to proceed on?
All right, we're 3 seconds in and this guy is already challenging the court. Bro wasted absolutely no time. Then his own attorney basically says, yeah, I can't defend these arguments. The second the judge hears sovereign citizen, you can see his face tighten and his whole posture shift forward like, we're not doing this today. Chuckle and trust me, this is only the warm-up. The judge's patience is about to get tested real fast.
These cases and talk to the prosecutor. Don't look on your phone while you're talking to me. If you
My
don't
notes
know-
are on.
No, you listen to me. If you don't know your sovereign citizen arguments well enough to come up here and say them, I can tell you can't have a court. I can tell you can't have a phone in here. I want you to listen to me. You're here today on misdemeanor charges. No talking. You're brought into court. You've already been arraigned. You have a charge of interfering with police officers in the while they're doing official business. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. You also have a civil infraction for operating using a mobile electronic device, first offense while operating a motor vehicle, a charge of no proof of insurance. Those are both civil infractions. Civil infraction for no proof of or no registration in a motor vehicle. So those are the charges against you, sir. I'm going to tell you the rights that are actually real rights that you have in this court. You have a right to an attorney appointed at public expense if you are indigent without money to hire an attorney, and if the offense charge requires a minimum jail sentence or the court determines that it might sentence you to jail. The appointing authority will decide if you are indigent and appoint counsel if you are eligible. You may have to repay the expense for an appointed attorney. You may contest your ability to pay the ordered fees if the court attempts to collect any cost for an attorney, and the court must determine your ability to pay at that time. If you have a trial, you have the following rights. You have a right to, this is how trials work. You have a right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial, and you can get an order signed by the court to require witnesses to come to court. You have a right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You have a right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent. If you chose not to be a witness on your own behalf, the prosecutor could not comment on your refusal to testify. Lastly, you have a right to be presumed innocent unless you are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you enter a plea, obviously you'd be waiving those rights. You also have a right to be released on bond. Now, it looks like you previously...
Wait, did he seriously pull out his phone while arguing jurisdiction? Nah, The judge's eyebrows shoot up immediately and you can almost hear him thinking, "You've got to be kidding me." Instead of debating nonsense, the judge calmly starts explaining the actual charges and the real constitutional rights. I mean, one person came ready for court, the other came ready for a podcast debate. But the next exchange gets way more awkward.
Previously stood mute on these charges, so you're here today for a pretrial. You have a few options, sir, under the law of the United States, the Constitution of the state of Michigan, and statutory law and court rules in the state of Michigan. You can either retain your own attorney to proceed on this case, or you can have a pretrial with the prosecutor directly and try and work out an agreement, or we can set it for a jury trial, okay? Those are your options. You can get an attorney, use a court appointed attorney, but you understand that attorneys have an obligation to follow the law and not make frivolous arguments, which is what you want to make today. And if an attorney makes those arguments on your behalf, I could sanction them. So no attorney on this green earth is going to come in and make the frivolous arguments you're making on your behalf. Or you can speak to the prosecutor, or we can just set it for a jury trial. Out of those, I don't want to hear it. I want you to pick out of those four options what you want to do. Hire an attorney, speak with court-appointed attorney, talk directly to the prosecutor to work towards a resolution, or set a jury trial. Pick.
Let me ask you a question.
No, I asked you a question, and I'm telling you to answer it.
And I have the right to understand my rights and understanding.
Sir,
exactly
here,
what-
can you hand him this form? These are your constitutional rights I just read to you. Why don't you have a seat? You have a seat, read your rights, and I'll call your case back
I
up.
am asking for you.
Have a seat right now and
What is
read
your
your
oath of
rights.
office.
Have a seat.
Have a seat right now and read your rights, sir. If you
I
don't
read-
understand them, read them.
I move for this court to dismiss.
Have a seat.
Okay, next case, the City of Taylor versus Randall Crane. Mr. Crane, you want to come?
Now the judge lays out 4 simple choices. Hire an attorney, ask for one, talk to the prosecutor, or go to trial. Pretty straightforward, right? No. Bro immediately tries asking his own questions instead. The judge leans back, takes a slow breath, then firmly shuts it down and literally tells him to sit down and read his rights. So you can tell the patience meter is dropping fast. But somehow, he still isn't finished arguing.
Come back up. Mr. Crane, did you have a chance to go over your constitutional rights that I provided to you?
Yes, I understand my constitutional rights.
Okay, thank you, sir. So at this time, I gave you 4 options. Would you like to retain your own attorney? Would you like to speak with House counsel and have an appointed attorney? Would you like to meet directly with the prosecutor? Or would you like to set the matter for jury trial?
I'm going to be requesting for an order of change of venue.
Denied. Anything else? There's no basis for that, sir. So I'm asking you, we'll just set it for a jury trial, okay?
I have to understand everything in regards to my case.
Sir, I gave you your constitutional rights so that you could review them. I also gave you the attorney,
I understand
a
that,
court-appointed attorney to go over those rights with. So I gave you an opportunity to understand your rights. I'm not going to entertain, listen, I'm not entertaining your sovereign citizen arguments because they're unfounded and they're not legal. There's no legal basis for them. So I'm not doing it. So now I'm asking you, out of the 4 choices I gave you, which one would you like to do?
I am required to understand everything in regards to my case,
Okay.
including subject jurisdiction matters.
All right, well, you could do your
Personal
research. I'm
jurisdiction.
setting this for a jury trial. We'll see you back for your jury trial on November 14th of 2025 at 9:00 a.m. I really recommend you retain an attorney prior to that date, sir, because I know I'm going to tell you what you're not going to do: waste the citizens of Taylor's time with your nonsensical arguments. You're going to come in, you're going to try your case. Again, if you want to talk to House counsel, you could do so. All
I'm
right.
not wasting the city of Taylor's time.
Okay, good. We'll
Okay.
see you on your trial date. Have a
Alright, round 2 begins. The judge politely asks which option he wants. and somehow we're right back to jurisdiction arguments. Bro is looping the same dialogue like a broken playlist. You can see the judge's expression turn completely flat, that look that says, "I've answered this already." Then he finally decides enough is enough and schedules a jury trial. But wait, the courtroom drama is only getting started.
Good day. We have a charge of speeding of 11 to 15 over. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, has an offer been made on that, Mr. Zick? No discussions
No
occurred?
discussions.
Would you like to have discussions with him regarding that civil infraction?
Yeah, I would like it dropped.
Okay, well, I don't know that he's doing that, but he might offer you a reduced ticket with no points. I mean, I don't know that he will, I don't know what he'll offer you, but there could be a reduction. Do you want to discuss that possibility with Mr. Zick?
Yes, I'd like to.
Okay, I'll let the two of you discuss that. And I did receive your filing. I'm reviewing it now.
Okay.
So if that's what you're intending to put on record, it is officially part of the court file.
Okay.
So we don't need to do it orally because it's part of the file.
All right.
Okay? All right, I'll let you two talk and I'll see you back in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
All right, we're back on record. Were you two able to have discussions?
We had the discussion, Your Honor, but we're unable to reach a resolution.
Okay, so was an offer made?
Yes.
Okay, can you just tell me what the offer
Oh,
was?
yes, Your Honor. The people offered to reduce the charge of speeding 11 to 15 over to a double permit.
All right, and Mr. Page, you understand that's a civil infraction, has a fine of $165, but it doesn't have any points on your license.
Right.
Okay, and you've rejected that offer?
I have.
Okay, all right, so we're proceeding with our hearing then.
Okay.
Mr. Page, is there something you want to, if you're just going to read me a giant sovereign citizen objection to my jurisdiction, I'll give you 2 minutes to put whatever you want to put on record, and then we're proceeding with the hearing. Fair?
Don't have.
Now we're into the speeding case, and believe it or not, there's actually a chance to reduce the ticket. Sounds like an easy win, right? No. The offer gets rejected, and the judge gives one final warning about those sovereign citizen speeches. You can see him glance over with that calm but exhausted look like, "Please don't make me hear this again." Spoiler, that's exactly what happens next.
The right to be heard lawfully.
We have the right to ask questions to the witness and to, make any arguments you want to the court.
Right.
But as far as jurisdictional arguments, the court does have jurisdiction.
Okay, is this court operating in administrative or judicial law?
I'm not participating in this, sir.
Well, I would.
Well, this is a court of law.
I would have to know because there's no injured party in this case. So
There doesn't have to be.
there does. In order to set bond against me, there has to be an injured party.
Okay. Anything else? I am operating under the laws of the state of Michigan and the Michigan Constitution. And that's the information that I'm willing to provide. And
Okay.
and I'm certain you're aware of that, sir. You've lived in the United States for your life.
And I'm also aware that I have the right to freely travel at my own vehicle
Correct.
that I maintain and take care of. There was no injured party. I was not engaged in commerce or commercial activity.
Okay. Well, they can get tickets too for speeding.
I'm protected under the Constitution. Speed limit's not law. The Constitution says that.
Actually,
The speed limit
The
is statute,
state-
code, and ordinance.
correct. Statute and ordinance. That's
Yeah.
correct.
So how could I be charged if we're operating under this type of law and no injured party?
Well, your federal right to travel under the or the federal constitution doesn't mean that you're not subject to regulatory. I mean, do we not have to get driver's licenses? Do we not have to get car insurance? Do we not have to follow basic speed laws? I mean, you can have a constitutional right with limits and, or regulatory provisions or statutory provisions. The right to drive is not written in the Constitution. The right to travel is.
Yeah, and I made that clear to the officer that I was traveling. I wasn't driving. I had that.
Were you in a car?
I had that film too.
So were you in a car?
Yes, I was.
Here we go. I was traveling, not driving. Bro really thought changing one word would rewrite traffic law. The judge barely reacts at first, then tilts his head with that expression that screams, "Are we seriously doing this?" Chuckle he calmly explains rights come with regulations too, but our guy isn't backing down. And then the judge asks one simple question that changes everything.
All right, you were operating a motor vehicle, and were you in the city of Taylor?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I wasn't operating a motor vehicle though. I was traveling freely down the road.
In a motor vehicle?
That I maintain and take care of myself. That's my property.
Okay. I understand that. That doesn't affect this. I mean, you were driving a car in the city of Taylor. Yes. Okay. And that's why we're here.
Okay.
Okay.
Your Honor, people who waive opening at this time would be prepared to call their first witness when you're ready.
Okay. Call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, we call Corporal Billy Schillenberg to the stand.
Corporal Billy Schillenberg, badge number 260.
And you're employed with the Taylor Police Department?
I am.
And what's your position with the police department?
My rank is a corporal and in the traffic bureau.
And Mr. Schillenberg, were you working back on November 4th of 2024 in the afternoon hours?
I was monitoring traffic on southbound Telegraph, south of Breast Road, when I observed a silver Ford Fusion traveling faster than the vehicle around it. Which time I activated my LiDAR device, which I am trained and certified to use in the state of Michigan. Pointed the LiDAR directly at the hood of Mr. Page's vehicle and received a reading of 58 miles per hour and 45 mile per hour zone. The way the LiDAR works is when you point the LiDAR at the hood of the vehicle, it'll give you a speed reading and a feet reading. So the feet is the distance away from where the LiDAR is to the vehicle approaching my position.
And based on the reading that you received of 58 and you were monitoring a 45 mile an hour zone, what did you do next?
Set my LiDAR device down. I maintained visual sight of the vehicle that I got the reading from. When Mr. Page approached my patrol vehicle, when I exited the parking lot which I was sitting in.
Objection, I approached your vehicle.
All right. I think, can you just clarify when you say?
I never got on my vehicle.
All right. Well, let's let him clarify the answer. I took it to mean something else.
The judge asks if he was in a car, and after all that debating, the answer is yes. I mean, that's not exactly helping the argument. You can see the judge give that tiny nod like, exactly. Then the prosecution calls the officer, and suddenly we're leaving theories behind and stepping into actual evidence. Wait until you hear what the officer says happened during that traffic stop.